Okay, it's GT3 week on Mugello, and it's great. I love GT3 weeks for Lopen. Um, Pretty fun track, great cars, as I alluded to. I love GT3 cars. So, getting out of the pits, it's actually pretty straightforward on this track. Nothing really to worry about, and the only thing that we really have to worry about is staying to the right as much as possible. Obviously, hitting that wall, and nobody really should be over here unless they're racing side to side, but just stay to the right of that line and then obviously brake for the turn. You're gonna have to brake a little bit harder than usual, and then just watch your car radar in real time, and then make sure you don't cut someone off as the racing line is to take that turn tight. But we'll get into that after we get to the start finish line, which I will cut to now. So at the start finish line, we're gonna, coming from the last turn, which we'll get to at the end, we're gonna stay at the right. We're actually gonna be hugging the right for a very long time, and the white line for the pit exit's pretty good guesstimate, and then we're gonna kind of dive off. Brake markers this 100 line. We're gonna brake and then kind of start shifting our way over, braking down into third gear for most cars, depending on your gearing, but third gear seems to be the hit for most of them. We're gonna stay tight. You might coast a little bit to the mid, but stay tight for the most part. We're going to dive back onto this, giving a slight tap of the brake just to settle the car, cut onto this curb, and then straighten for this following turn, give it a bit of a lift, and then back on the gas as much as possible. Using this whole curb out here, we're going to maximize as much of the track as we can. We're giving a whole way out here. Brake marker for this next turn is the 50 on the right. And then as we get out here, we're going to downshift because we'll be in fourth by the time we get to that marker. Downshift into third. Cut this turn. We're going to give a upshift into fourth. That's actually a little bit of a trick. Upshift into the fourth, hit the apex on our right, and then we're going to coast our whole way out using all of the turn again, like I said. So now we're in fourth. We're going to stay in fourth, actually. So brake marker over here is going to be the start, that little stripe thing on our right, actually. So when we hit that, brake hard for a good amount of time, actually, and we're going to dive in, staying in fourth, don't downshift, staying in fourth, hit that apex, and then end up somewhere around here. And then that allows us to stay flat, maybe give a little bit of a lift to apex this turn, and then carry all of our speed out, again, using all of the track. This sets it up pretty well for staying on the curb on our left and giving as much gas as we can, just to giving a little bit of a lift, hitting the apex on our right. And then again, hard on the gas again. I've been able to get a lot of just straight gas. And then here's actually a pretty tricky part, because we want to be able to ride as far left as we can, staying on these curbs, and then just cutting as much as possible so that we can basically make this turn a giant arc, giving a bit of a lift at that marker on our right, basically at the apex, just so that the car settles and stays gripped up so that we don't overshoot this rumble strip. We want to stay on the rumble strip. The grass obviously kills our time. Get back on the road so that we're going. Braking for this starts at the rumble strip here. Hard on the brakes. Down into third. And we want to kind of be slow for this turn because we want to be exiting right around here, so that when we go through this turn, brakes and very light on the brakes, very light on lifting, because we really want to carry as much speed as possible through here, using again all of this as much as possible. Third or fourth is really where we want to be exiting. This brake point for this turn is actually quite difficult. I personally mark myself with the light post on the right. Once I pass, that comes out of view, hard on the brakes. And what we want to do is actually stay rather wide. We can set ourselves up to brake, but we want to stay wide here, shifting down to third. The reason is we want to stay wide and then late apex this turn. If we late apex it, I'll show you, we end up on the inside of the turn. And the reason is, if we end up out here, which is fine, we can make do with it, and I actually do in the shown lap. we have to make a quick move out here, and that usually unsettles the car because we want to end up out here to take these next 2 turns flat. If you end up on the inside of these turns, you're going to have a hard time taking these turns flat because you want to basically straight line through these. If we can end up on the outside and then just straight line through, basically in 4th gear, it's easier if you just late apex that turn and then just straight line. So again, 4th gear, flat through all of this. You're going to end up out here most likely. And then we're coming up to the last turn. We're going to brake right around the 75 marker. So there's the 100. Right ahead of us is the 50. So right around here-ish. Braking down into the 3rd gear. We're going to be trying to turn a little later than most people would think. There's a lot of a dark line on the track. And then we're going to try and carry... You're going to have to pedal the gas a bit to keep it from spinning and going understeering. And then you can use the whole track, the whole way out here to get hammered down as fast as possible. And then you can just stay on the outside until we cross the start-finish line once again. So that's a track lap of Mugello and the GT3's for the Lopen. I'm going to include a 148.86, which honestly isn't where I want to be, but that's all I could get. I think there's a good amount of time left. I really want it to be a little bit lower, but it is what it is. I think 147s, 146s, I think the world records of 145s are achievable, but I wasn't there, unfortunately. Hope to see you on Sunday. Hope to see you in the sub 150s. I think it's going to be really fun if we can get there. And yeah, be safe. Have fun.